Hi, thanks for tuning in to LiQWYD Farms. Before we begin, today we're going to can some collard greens, but before we begin, I want to give a disclaimer. I am no professional. I'm absolutely learning this. This is probably my second season with canning, and I've gotten better with it, but it's not necessarily recommended in the way that I do it. So if you want to, be a stickler on that, I suggest you reference the ball book, but this is how I'm going to do it and how we're going to do it on LiQWYD Farm. So tune in as we get the canning.
Hello everyone, welcome to LiQWYD Farms with canning greens.
Okay, so pressure cook canning. I don't have a canner, so we're doing a water bath method. There's multiple ways water bath, it really just has to be submerged and for a certain amount of time. So what I'm going to do, in order to be able to start the process, you need to sanitize your jars. So now, I think the most essential thing is to at least get the tools. At least get these tools, it comes with the little set on Amazon. My sister got it for me, shout out to her, because I didn't even want to spend the $20 to get it. But it has made my life much easier, because you can imagine trying to dip these in here without that. And I don't dip them in, like some people let them sit, but I don't let it sit because I don't like to hear that noise. A little bubbling noise it does at the end. So right now we have already cleaned our mason jars. So they're upside down because we want them to be able to dry. Now, the goal is to take your dry mason jars to be able to put the greens inside of that mason jar. That green thing that's on top right there, that is for me to be able to eliminate as much juice and sloppiness around the rim. You see how sloppy it gets and how all of the juices are kind of getting everywhere? Also hints to the paper towels underneath there because I want to make it easy cleanup and be able to just clean all of that up. So currently, you just stuff the greens, all of them in there. I found for me that using a tong is much easier than using any type of spoon because the goal is to get as many greens as you possibly can in there to begin with. This is one of the parts that I'm talking about where I don't know what I was saying. I was just talking. Y'all know I can talk, just talking and talking and talking. Okay, so you want to get enough to be able to get at the top of that rim. I noticed that I didn't fill it up enough. Now you want to keep some space in there though, because you want to be able, you're going to add some juices in there, like vinegar, to be able to preserve it. Okay, grab the vinegar. Now this thing can be fun because you can make this any type of way that you really want to, as long as you have at least 2 tablespoons of vinegar in there and 1 tablespoon of salt. So for me, I still use the 2 tablespoons of vinegar, and then for my salt, I replace my salt with bouillon because I want more flavor. And then I have added extra garlic, crushed red pepper, all of those type of things. But this one is just pretty simple for me. If you wanted more simple than that, it could just be vinegar and salt. I also add the juice of the greens into there. Once again, it's all about flavor. Of course, we want to be able to preserve it. We don't want any mold and all that type of stuff, but the more flavor we get in it, the better. So y'all wasn't gonna tell me y'all couldn't see? Sorry guys. So I just added the vinegar. Now I'm about to add in the bouillon. That 1 tablespoon, it doesn't really necessarily matter what you put as long as it has that salt portion of it for the preserving of it. I just like to be a little extra. You want to make sure you fill it up to that top portion. Like if you're looking at the rims of a mason glass, there's like kind of screw-ons on them. I try to put it to the one looking at you, the first one, like the first one. So the first screw on when you're screwing on the top. Showing y'all the bouillon. I love that bouillon. And the vinegar. It's Walmart brand. Not really trying to shout out Walmart, but shout out to Walmart. Again, I use apple cider vinegar, but some people use white distilled vinegar. I've tried both of them. The apple gives obviously a more of a sweeter taste. Okay, so you guys see those bubbles in there. We do not want them in there. That's air bubbles. You don't want them in there. So I have a handy dandy tool that my sister got me. Thanks, sister. That I just push down to be able to get the bubbles out. Now, this tool, I'm telling you guys, like, it's the best one to go for. I know I try to do things like on a budget and keep it at home and not buy so many things, but some tools you need, and that tool for sure you need to get all as many bubbles as you possibly can out of the jar, because bubbles and air, that causes bacteria, which we do not want. So get as many bubbles as you possibly can out, and that handy dandy tool is going to help you be able to do that. Wipe the rim off. You need to wipe the rim off to be able to make sure that there is nothing that's going to stop the mason jar from hitting with the seal. And I'm wiping the seal off too, because I just, water bath those. So I want to make sure that those are fine. And everything needs to be able to be dry. So wipe it all off, make sure everything's dry, and then you can be able to sit this seal, that pink portion, or they used to be pink. Now I believe they're like the same color. Boss has updated their jars. But that rim part needs to be stuck onto that part, because this is the adhesive. This is what's going to seal it in the water bath. Go ahead and twist that on. Now, the idea is for the top to seal. You really don't necessarily need those rings. Like when it's done sealing, you should be able to take off that ring. And you see, you notice this is already sealed. So you should be able to take off this ring to be able to, and you don't need it. You don't need it because you can't do the seal. So that's just on there for support when it is sealing. But the idea is for it to seal and not be able to pop open. All in all, this process took me to be able to put the greens into the mason jars, wipe the rim off, all of that, get it prepared to actually go into the water bath. It took me about 30 minutes. Now, again, I was talking, I have my daughter, things going on. So about 30 minutes.